hello, and welcome to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of this ragtag group of heroes and adventurers.
Hi everybody, I'm Claire. I'm playing Mira, who's a Dragonborn Sorcerer, half red dragon, half silver dragon. Originally was a bit of a politician, and now has joined the adventuring life, probably to a greater extent than she ever expected.
I'm Michael. I'm playing Lockie, a Warforged Artificer. Originally was part of a flying castle, but I've since left and resumed an adventure with my now friends.
Cool. Hey guys, I'm Jared, and I play the character of Jin. He is a level 6 Law Bard and a level 2 Hexblade Warlock. I'm currently an associate and ally of the Tempest Guild, and I'm helping them in their goal of stopping the Queen of Dragons, Tiamat.
Hello, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Shana, the Yuan-Ti Sorcerer, who is traveling with the Tempest Adventuring Guild, trying to find the other half of her soul, who is hiding somewhere away, far from reach.
Hi guys, I'm Matt, playing Yervith, the sneaky Wood Elf Ranger and Rogue, who, after a tragic incident in the jungle with his previous expedition, has now joined up with this lovely ragtag group of adventurers and is looking to see what happens next.
Hello, lovely people. How you doing? Waves? Yeah, well, let's wave. Everyone's cameras are popping in. Oh my goodness. We've got everyone here tonight. Yay! Full house. That's right. Everyone is here. We're here to play Dungeons and Dragons, and we are here to, I think, have an awesome time. I hope. That's what I'm aiming for. Thank you everybody who came and joined us last week for our Tyranny of Dragons stream. Unfortunately, for those of you who tried to join us for Avatar on Thursday, there was no stream because I had no power. Yes. The Queensland floods once again took out power to my suburb, so we had no power, but it's okay because the power came back on at about 1 a.m. And I know this because my Google Home decided to let me know that it had power once again at 1 a.m. Very, very delightful of it to do so. I'm very grateful. I was concerned that I wouldn't know when the power was back, but that's okay. Google's got my back on that one. So yeah, unfortunately no Avatar stream, but we are going to have a very special treat for you tomorrow night for our Avatar stream. We have a guest character coming and joining us, not just for one session, for a couple of sessions as well. Ooh. Now that we're almost at the Northern Water Tribe, we've got a lovely member of the streaming crew coming in and joining us for a couple of sessions. And he's here in the chat right now. Archie, he's actually in the chat. No way. That's hilarious. Yeah. And he's here now. Archie will be bringing in a waterbender for a couple of sessions. So we'll, I'm not going to say too much. We'll introduce him when the time is right tomorrow night. But that's going to be very exciting. We're very, very keen to welcome Archie to the Avatar stream. Oh, you speak my name? Yeah. Wait, is that not allowed? Water tribe. So there's a lot of water tribes in chat. That makes sense. We're going to do a bit of a recap. Obviously, the last session for D&D, we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and Ali wasn't here for that cliffhanger, which is actually great because now we get to do the whole cliffhanger again, but also get Ali's reaction from that too, or Lyra's reaction, I should say. Oh no, sorry, Shana's reaction. Shana, sorry. It's because I've still got down in the bottom here, I've still got your name as Lyra/Shana. So I've got them here for both of you. So sorry, for Shana. Get Shana's reaction to this as well, which will be fantastic. Alrighty. Well, I should probably run the recap. Hey, take us through what happened last session. So, the Tempest Adventuring Guild, a group of mercenaries, explorers, and adventurers, has been working to thwart the machinations of a group known as the Order of the Dragon. This cult has been amassing power, wealth, and knowledge in an attempt to perform a ritual which would bring a dark, draconic god, Tiamat, back into the world. Our story has been following the escapades of some of the members of this group, Mira, Jin, Lockie, Yervith, and Shana, who have now returned to Oxenfurt to plan their next move against the cult. With the Oxenfurt Council meeting again to discuss developments, the group have been summoned to Castletown to provide updates and account for their recent actions. First, however, the party decided to prepare first by consuming some suspiciously spurious magic beans, which granted the party fairly moderate benefits, until that is the bean that was consumed by Shana resulted in some strange mixing of planar magics. Whatever happened, Shana gained the use of a wish spell. D100, rolled a 100. What can I do? Deciding to carefully think through the consequences that could entail the use of this power, the party split up to meet with the Tiefling Spy Sorceress and request her help for suggesting the Tempest Guild to be selected to travel to Veluxur, the draconic nation of Ciari. The capital of the draconic nation of Ciari. Meanwhile, Yervith, Lockie, and Mira ventured to the Oxenfurt Historical Society to inform them of Yervith's survival and the fate of the other archaeologists sent to the Noonian jungle. The group then met with the Council of Oxenfurt, and despite meeting some initial resistance, they were able to pull off some impressive political maneuvers, namely forcing Lord Neverember, the party's biggest critic, to instead propose and support them as the Alliance representatives to be sent to Veluxur. The party also learnt that the Emerald Enclave, a group of rangers, were being investigated by the Council. As they departed the council chambers, a representative of the Enclave, an elven man dressed in white wolf fur-clad armour called Dalen, pulled the party aside to talk. Dalen revealed he had been speaking with an unknown entity he has been calling the Voice of the Wilds. This entity led him to a crystal core left over from the Age of Giants, a core which the party quickly identified as being capable of planar travel. Dalen then revealed the voice wanted to speak with the party too. All the group closed their eyes and tried to listen, but heard only silence. Until Yervith suddenly exclaims. So, all of you have closed your eyes. The vine that has grown through the window of the airship and bloomed into this beautiful green and blue flower. That was the sort of point that Dalen told you to focus on to hear the voice. With that, all of you closed your eyes and listened intently to see if you could hear anything. For all of you, you've heard nothing. There's been no voice, no sounds other than the sounds of the busy dock outside. The Oxenfurt airship docks are bustling with activity, but no voice speaks to you. Until Yervith suddenly opens his eyes with a gasp. I pass over to Yervith.
Yeah. So Yervith kind of wakes from this trance-like state, quite like almost like very, very pale and like almost he almost has a bit of like a sweat coming from his brow, and he looks quite shocked. And he goes, "No, that can't be it. I saw someone. I saw someone that we know." And I turn and look directly at Shana, and I go, "Shana, the Voice of the Wild. It's Lyra. She's alive."
I knew she couldn't be dead. Where is she?
I don't know. She seems to be stuck somewhere on the other side. It's hard to explain. Not on this world, no, but in some other dimension. She seems to be in contact with the Archphase, though, so she's certainly trying her best to try and get back to this world. She wants to get back to this world. She wants to see you and everyone here.
If we know whereabouts she is, let's go find Griswold and, get this wish spell going. If we have a lock, no time like the present.
I mean, I would,
Do we do it here?
I don't know. If I listen hard enough, I can communicate with her, but I don't know how easy it would be to pinpoint exactly where she is, or wherever she is. It's a bit complicated.
Also, if we wanted to move her from one plane to another, we may find some resistance there. The magic the giant still did is still very much in play.
Considering how difficult it is.
You have a communication with Griswold, right?
Yes, I do.
Can you get him to come here? And maybe if the magic is strong enough for her to at least send communications here, maybe we can use some sort of maybe his magic or something to, just help get a better lock. This spell is, it's pretty damn powerful. I mean, if this can't get her here, nothing can.
The other thing you know as well, Shana, is that Dalen handed over a device to Lockie. a large crystal core.
Oh, yeah.
Covered in intricate metalwork and filigree, which Lockie quickly identified as being essentially a power source for giant magic. Specifically, this one for planar travel. It's a gate core essentially, used to power the planar gates the giants use to travel between worlds. And unlike every other core, this is not drained. It has power.
I think we're gonna have to ask an expert, but I mean, to be fair, okay, last time I tried to use a core, it did end in planar destruction, but surely this time, with the actual powerful of a wish spell, it's gonna work out properly this time. But I think maybe we should ask for a little bit of extra help before we do it.
I think some further discussion is probably definitely a very good idea.
What's Lyra doing with these rangers? Are they helping her? Or?
I think so. She told me that she was trying to reach out to us and for some time, and she managed to get a hold of Dalen here, and well, that's how she's been helping. She's been trying to communicate to us via them.
Dalen nods at this. Yeah, yes, she has been communicating with the Rangers for a couple of weeks now. I was the first one to hear her out in the wilderness.
And is she trying to save? Do they have their own mission, or is it just to bring Lyra back? Does she know things that we don't about the cult?
I'm not sure. She hasn't told us about bringing her back. That's not been a focus of her instructions to us. Her instructions have all been around preventing the cult from accessing this device, the one I've just given you. She said she could see it or sense it or something like that, the energy of it.
She seems to be seeing things differently in her world. She said it was hard to describe. Things were different to her where she was.
Yes, she described it to us as when you're made of energy. I think she described herself as a spirit. When you're made of energy, you perceive the world as energy, and so she sees points of focused energy. I'll be honest, this is all a bit
flow thereof.
Maybe.
My eyes sort of narrow a little bit, and I look at Shana and Jin specifically, and I say, she might have been able to speak to you two, but she said that your auras were covered in darkness, shadows.
Shana just sort of gestures to herself and is like, have you seen me lately? I look nothing like myself, and I am part snake. It's, could have something to do with it, just,
Well, you're all aware of Varus as well, he has some influence over us.
I believe that is my taking from this as well. She couldn't contact Mira either for, similar reasons.
We have the reason she couldn't contact us, there's a reason behind that one, I think. But the one, Mira's one, now that's a bit more of a question mark. There's a few ideas it could be, but that is definitely something interesting indeed.
But I was concentrating really hard.
No, I'm sure you were, Mira. I'm not doubting that.
Do you think it could be, and I look around a little bit, Tiamat? I've been hearing a lot of things with Mira, and a lot of the people we keep running into with the cults keep sort of saying that you're tied to Tiamat.
Well, I haven't heard anything. Maybe it's the amulet.
That's very plausible.
That's possible.
In any case, remove. Nah.
But that doesn't explain why she can't talk to Lockie. I mean, if not me, if there would be anyone that she would be able to reach out to, it would be Lockie.
I do know that one too. Our friend Lockie here isn't necessarily organic per se. I believe that may have something to do with it too.
Trees don't grow on me. That is for sure. And
but you remember specifically. She said she can see him and sense him, but she can't. It's almost like a different language in a way. Like the way Lockie is designed and built, it's so different from organic matter.
So the giants as well.
Yeah. There's
They're purveyors of elemental magics. There's similar spheres, but different nature magics.
And planar magic, you said.
And planar, yes. Although I don't believe I'm a planar being. That would be interesting.
In any case, we have a decision to make. I mean, Lyra does want to return here, but I mean, we should probably talk to Griswold and arrange transporting her back.
I have sent him a message. It was a little garbled. I'm excited.
He can reply to... It was message the spell, right? So he can reply to it.
Presumably, I think so.
Oh, message the spell.
If it's message the spell, he can reply to it. Lockie, you hear in your head, "Oh, coming right away. Give me but a moment."
Yes, Jen. What?
So you're the only one who actually talked to her, then?
Yes, I believe so.
How is she? Apart from being a being of energy, does she seem well?
She seems good. She looked the same as how I remember her. Her material form was present, and she seemed okay. She had her staff and her red hair, and she asked how you were all doing and what we had been doing. I gave her a bit of a rundown on our quest of late. I mentioned the what happened in the north with the Dragonhorn. She told me that she felt that presence be removed from the world, and she actually did mention that she felt as though the destruction of the Dragonhorn weakened the planar barriers. She said before that she had found it difficult to communicate, but since the destruction of the Dragonhorn, she'd been able to speak more easily, see more, if you will.
That's not necessarily a good thing. That's a weakening between the worlds. That's exactly what the cult want.
Well, yes. I hadn't thought of that until then. I was more thinking of the good thing that we were able to speak to Lyra really easily, and I got really excited about that. But
that's fair.
You're right, Mira. That's not good at all. I hadn't considered that.
I mean, maybe could it actually be a good thing? I mean, I know that the giants locked this plane down for a reason, but that was such a long time ago. Maybe, maybe the change isn't a bad thing. Maybe there are others that can come and bring good to the world, and it doesn't necessarily have to be purely a bad thing related to Tiamat. I mean, as long as we stop Tiamat.
I mean, that will be. You said it yourself that there are other dark forces in this world that had their eyes set on this plane. If it's not Tiamat, it'll be something else, I'm sure. I don't know about all this.
But that's what we've learned is the ritual to bring Tiamat can also bring someone else.
And maybe we can bring someone good. Maybe we can find someone that's just pure good, no bad, and they can help us.
The first person who pops to mind is actually Lara, but...
We're going to get her back before the Tiamat summoning.
Well, I'm not really too sharp on my pantheon of gods and whatnot. I'm not really sure who the first candidate for that would be. I might leave that one to Lockie and Mira. They seem to be the more scholared individuals in our group.
Oh, I don't know anything about gods, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But I just know that if we don't bring Tiamat, then who comes through?
Well, that's exactly my point. If we can supplement that with someone else, I was of the opinion that we would pick Lyra, but if we can get Lyra back sooner, then who then? Who do we pick?
Does Lyra want to come back? It doesn't sound like you said that she didn't seem to. Does she have some sort of mission?
I mean, I could try to communicate with her again and ask, but she seemed pretty keen to come back.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yeah. She was in contact with the Archfays, which is interesting. The Archfays seem to be wanting to help our cause. Or help Lyra, at least.
What do I know of Archfey?
Would you like to roll me a history or religion check?
Yes, please. History or religion check, hey?
History or religion, your choice.
So good at both of those, not. Okay. Oh, that's a one.
Wow. Oh no!
That's a natural one. Mira, you've only really read one scroll on the Archfey, and what that scroll told you was that the Archfey are the fair folk, the gentle folk. They are all good, all benevolent. They leave gifts for children. They're wonderful.
Oh no!
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh.
Maybe maybe we could let one of them in. That would be too bad.
I mean, if they're helping Lyra and you think they're good, I mean, maybe they're a good candidate.
When
None
one dice
of us
roll,
would know the better.
Perhaps we should ask around and just get a second opinion.
Griswold would probably know.
Before we decide on bringing back any entity, Archfey or not. Just to be safe. Just to be safe.
I do love this one dice roll. Oh, sorry, no, go.
Yeah, it's in the Feywild. No.
Yeah.
We should just. My plan was hoping to just stop this whole ritual before it gets too crowded here.
Yeah.
Well, that is one option, but if it seems like it's a runaway snowball or something, I mean, we give thought to bringing someone back that will help enrich or protect this realm. And my first thought did jump to Lyra, but if she's, I guess, happy where she is.
No, she wants to come back.
Coming back now.
Or if we can get her back before, then we still have the option. If it is someone, perhaps someone that would help protect, because there are still bad things out there, Tiamat included, but not exclusive.
You? What about one of your people from your past? I mean, they were good, weren't they?
The giant?
I mean, I don't know if they existed in a world of good and evil as we know it. It was a long, long time ago. Dispositions change. I mean...
They'd side with you, wouldn't they? So, an ally of yours. Someone smart that can help.
There are probably options, but I don't know. I feel like the gods of the giants would be more elemental and possibly...
Yeah, actually, Lockie, you remember the gods have one giant, Anam, the father of all creation, but then the primordials are very much respected, not worshipped like Anam is. Anam's the only sort of worship member of the giant pantheon, but all of the elementals, the primordial elementals of nature, so the true source of fire, the true source of water, the true source of earth, sky, they are very much respected as well.
And these things aren't evil, but nor are they good. They are what they are. Fire burns you as well as lights a room, so...
Earth and nature can destroy, and as well as give life. That makes sense.
Dalen nods to this. Yes, there is a balance. An unthinking, uncaring balance, but a balance nonetheless.
Then all the less chance of it becoming corrupted.
But anyway, that's
that's a very good point.
That's kind of in the future. Are we going to try and get Lyra back? Should we go and ask Griswold?
Griswold should be here soon.
You hear the ship sort of shake, and this blast of light comes from downstairs, shining through the gully. As Griswold, I didn't want to interrupt. As Griswold sort of wanders over, you see he's furiously scribbling in a notebook. Yes, sorry, you called on me. How can I be of assistance? What do you need? Oh, hello there. Hello, I'm Dalen. Griswold, nice to meet you. Yes, I sense something strange here. And he goes over and inspects the small tendril of plant. And then you watch as he takes out a tiny pair of scissors, clips a little bit, and puts it in a little jar. Holds it in the box and goes, Fascinating. I shall have to inspect this back at my study. Tucks it away. Yes, sorry.
With him going to cut something off, I think Shana probably would have gone to stop him and be like, no, you don't. No, you're fucking
As the scissors close, you put a hand on his shoulder. Oh, I'm sorry. What seems to be the problem? What's wrong?
That is part of Lyra. You will not cut it.
Yeah.
Part of Lyra?
There's been some developments, Griswold.
I'm sorry to hear that she's passed, but you do know that when a tree grows on the body of a person, it's not their body. We say that in a metaphorical sense to make them feel better.
Griswold, you don't understand. She seems to be able to contact us through this plant growth from a different plane or existence.
I've heard about this. There's a spell to speak through plants or something like that. I think it's something similar. Or is this a bit different?
Well, she's been able to cast it across dimensions, across planes. So perhaps, but it seems a bit more stronger than that.
From the core.
I have one question. What is that? And he points at Lockie holding this crystal.
Oh, we were getting to that. Lockie, care to explain?
Do you want the long version or the short version?
Short version, please.
It is a elemental giant key for passing through planes.
For the first and only time in your experience with Professor Griswold, if anyone speaks Gnomish, he swears in Gnomish. Let me know if anyone speaks Gnomish. Otherwise, he just says a gibberish word. That's fine.
No!
He just says a gibberish word. Good luck. Dear me, this is... You see a tear come out of his right eye as he places a hand upon it and concentrates. His hand pulls back as if stung. My boy, do you realize what this is? This is an empowered keystone to a giant gateway. Planar travel is possible with this.
Don't you think between that and the wish spell, we can get her back?
Well, yes, I do think that, but I do have some questions. Who spoke to Lyra, our different Lyra?
That would have been me.
Dalen lifts a hand as well.
And Dalen.
When you saw her, was she corporeal, physical? Did she look like herself? Did she sound like herself?
She did. She was physical, corporeal. I saw her with her staff and her hair, and just as I had imagined her back when she was here.
Yes,
that energy.
But energy. I'm sorry, what?
I didn't see anything as energy. She seemed corporeal enough to me. She spoke to me in a forest, and it seemed real.
Didn't you mention before that she saw things as energy?
Dalen speaks up at that. That was me.
Energy.
Oh, she did. Yes, that's right. She did see things as energy. She was able to detect things as energy. She said she saw things differently where she was.
Yes, I was a little bit afraid of that. I do fear that Lyra is not... She's not dead, but she's not alive either. She's in some sort of liminal state between beings, right? She's energy, she's a soul, but she hasn't passed on to the other realm, the afterlife. What comes next? She seems to be trapped somewhere between.
I mean, that would make sense. But with the wish spell, we can use the spell to give her a body and then use...
Yes, exactly what I was going to say. You've beaten me to the punch. I was going to say we could use this to bring the energy, her soul, back from wherever it is, the gemstone, and we can use the wish spell to regenerate a body for her. My only question is, she's been in some other place, and she is a being of energy, which means she's exchanging energy with that plane, with that location. There might be side effects, changes that you will notice to her personality, to her form, to her abilities, to her memories as well.
Can't the wish spell take care of that? If we're really, really specific?
Maybe, but we're dealing with wild, planar magic here. I'm a student of magic. I've spent most of my life devoted to understanding the way magic works, but you have to understand, planar magic is still... I've studied all I can, but I've never once participated in an active ritual allowing into planar travel. It's been impossible up until now. We're dealing with unknown forces, my dear. I can't make any promises. I just want to make sure you're aware of the risks.
Two things. One is, I believe that if we worded the wish spell very, very well, we could bring back Lyra maybe as we remember her.
Potentially.
But that is not the whole of who Lyra was, because we are not just who we are around people, we're who we are when we are alone. So we could do this, possibly, but we don't want to limit Lyra beyond what she was as well.
Or what she is becoming, or is going to be.
Exactly. You see the issue here. If we go too specific with the wish spell, we trap her in a state forever. She'll be unchanging until she dies. She won't be able to grow and evolve to change. But if we're too vague with the wish spell, we risk changing her in unintended ways. See where this gets a bit tricky.
As Lockie's saying this, he's got the orb and he's just raising it and lower and then move it, and he's just sort of tracing through the air with the orb. If anyone cares to ask, he'll explain, but otherwise we'll just keep doing it.
Yervith looks at this very anxiously, like he kind of his eyes kind of follow your arcs through the air. He's like, just be careful of that.
Oh yes, I'm being perfectly careful.
Okay.
Okay, I thought if Lyra can see this, and she can see it as a thing of energy, perhaps if I trace it in the right way, I could write her a message.
Ah, that's a good idea.
I said hello there.
Oh.
I can't confirm nor deny whether Lyra got that message, sorry. Dalen suddenly cups his hand. Yes, she says hello back, Lockie.
Oh, wonderful.
Can we ask her? I mean, if she's energy and she's, has some kind of knowledge, if we tell her what we're intending and ask if she has any objection or if she has any input on what to ask for.
I can ask her now if you like. I can try and speak with her.
Please and thank you.
Is there any way to make her audible to us?
Not that I'm aware of. I'll ask her that as well, shall I? Just give me a moment. And Dalen sits down cross-legged on the deck of the ship and closes his eyes and focuses, almost like meditating.
Maybe Griswold could construct something to communicate. I've heard of these things. They're like boards where you put your hands on them and then you move something and then someone can talk to you from a different plane.
Ah, you're speaking of Luigi boards. Yes, I know them well. Yeah, it's a codswallop. It's all bullshit.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's all rubbish. It's
in a fairy tale. The fey creatures. Okay.
Yes, there was some man from the Sapphire Isles who claimed his name was Luigi. Claimed that he could speak to spirits using his Luigi board. Had a haunted mansion,
Was he trying to speak to his brother, perhaps?
Yes. He lost his brother, Mario, in a tragic accident. Luigi Mario was left to carry on the family business all alone. It was awful.
How tragic.
Yes.
So there'd be no way of. I don't understand your Artificer stuff.
Yes, killed by a turtle, don't you know?
Oh.
Oh my. There must have been a fierce turtle.
No, it was just a regular turtle.
What?
He was just really, really weak, I guess. Just really frail. Just tiny. He was a shrimp of a man. Some mushrooms seemed to do strange things to him when he ate them, but apart from that.
You should have stuck to beans. I hear they're very good for you.
Yes. With that, Dalen sort of sits upright, a little bit, blinking his eyes, goes, right. Yes, sorry. So, Lyra says she's not sure. She would like to come back. Yes, she wanted to reaffirm that. She definitely feels that there have been changes, or there has been some. For her, it feels like a lot more time has passed than than what we've perceived. She said that time is a bit strange where she is. She doesn't feel it in the same way. She said if she had to guess how long she's been there, it'd be a couple of years. She didn't want us to worry about that, though. She's noticed that she doesn't get hungry, she doesn't get thirsty, she doesn't get tired. She has noticed a strange effect. She seems to draw her energy from the plants around her, she says. But wherever she walks, flowers seem to spring up behind her. She said that's a fairly recent development.
As long as she's back, right?
She said she's willing to try anything. As long as it seems safe and doesn't endanger you guys.
In any case, we need to get this keystone, this Nexal node to an active waygate, correct?
We do.
Griswold nods. Yes, and that's the next challenge. An active waygate, one that's undamaged. It's going to be a bit tricky to find. The waygates that were left after the giants vanished were often converted into other buildings. I mean, you've got to understand, these are very well-constructed buildings and dwellings. People converted them into other things they needed. So, for example, there is a waygate in Palin. It has been converted into the palace, the seat of the Ocean Empire. How much of that original structure is still intact and functional, I've got no idea. I imagine not much of it. So the trick is going to find a structure that has survived all these years, survived the ruin, and is intact. I'm thinking the cult are looking for a similar structure, right, for their ritual.
That's right. In fact, we had someone looking for this. Didn't I put someone on that? Didn't we put someone on that?
I think we mentioned it at some stage.
Someone. Yeah.
You did? Do you remember?
No.
Okay, that's all right then. That means, I'm going to say that means Mira doesn't remember.
Oh.
It was long enough ago that it is understandable Mira might have let this one slip her mind.
I've lost my book.
It wasn't Wiltix. Wiltix was doing something else.
No, it wasn't Wiltix. I think it was the other two.
Oh, Casey and
Baldur. Yeah.
Baldur.
Was it?
Casey and Baldur. Casey and Baldur were on it. Well done, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've heard from them, but yes, we.
The other thing. Oh, I was just gonna say, as soon as we leave this, as soon as we leave the city here and we go back into the wilds, the cult are gonna want this.
They are.
Yes.
This is absolute hot property.
Yes. I've been trying to think of a way to actually hide it, and I'm not sure we'll be able to hide its energy. Or its
we're certainly not putting it in the bag of holding.
No. I have another idea. Perhaps if we can't hide the fact that we're carrying a very large magical item, or powerful magical item, perhaps we could obfuscate the idea. And I've been trying to think that if there's a possible way that we could plug this and use it as a power source for our ship.
No, we are not using it as a fuel source. What if it drains it?
Yeah.
Lockie, I mean, isn't it not dissimilar to the power source that's inside yourself? Couldn't it not just sort of go in your chest and you can pretend it's part of yourself and keep it safe?
I mean, possibly, but if it overloads, it could explode me. The other side of it is maybe we could pretend that it's a power source. Have it installed in the ship somewhere. Not use it, not actually actively plugged into it.
Oh, like decoration.
Obfuscate.
These are great ideas, but I could just make a lead box and you could put it inside a lead box.
Sounds like a much better idea.
Because you can't scry if something's in a lead box either.
Yes, if something's encased in lead, at least if it's thick enough, you won't be able to see through it and people won't be able to locate it as easily.
It'll be pretty heavy though.
Well, I'm thinking a lead lockbox on the ship itself. I'll actually build it into the ship, and that way it's in the ship, locked in, and if anyone does manage to break it open, it just looks like a spare power supply being kept safe.
Yeah.
The only issue with that is we're meant to meet Elia to go to Ciari, tomorrow morning.
You do realize this ship has a teleportation circle is how I got here. I can just teleport in and build this while you're traveling, and then teleport back when it's done.
I completely forgot about that.
Oh, yes. I would love to show you the ship. I've made several adjustments.
Oh, fantastic. I actually haven't had a tour of the ship yet, so I'm very much looking forward to this, Lockie. If you could take me round, I will just send, and you see as he concentrates for a moment, and then this dust billows up around him, and you see the outline of some sort of bipedal creature forming behind him just for a second before the dust dies down. There we go. Send an unseen servant to go pick up some lead and some tools. Off you pop. Hear these footsteps going up the stairs as something unseen moves. Yes, there we go. Right, so, what are we doing? Tour of the ship. Sounds lovely, Lockie. Take me, show me the sights.
Yes. First I'll show you my failure, and then we'll go on to the successes.
With that, Lockie, Griswold will follow you. Anything you care to show him on and around the ship, you do so. The four of you remaining with Dalen. Dalen sort of nods. Yes, so... now that I've given you the core, I've got some options, I guess. I could head back and try and explain my actions to the council. Maybe just take off back into the wilds, take the Emerald Enclave, and we'll keep fighting the cult wherever we come across them. Maybe try and protect the villagers. I know the Order of the Gauntlet are facing some heavy losses. Maybe we could try and help them out and protect the villagers. Lyra's main goal was to find this and get it to you, so for the moment, she's not sure what we should do next.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have a couple things that we need to focus on. We need to go on our mission that we've been tasked by the council, but a few things to do. We definitely need to find out about this warehouse 18 and 19.
Yeah.
The Duke was very, very insistent about that.
Is that something me and my rangers could look into? The Emerald Enclave could look into this.
Ooh, you're already aware of it, aren't you? You've been already
we've
spying on this.
Yes, we've already been conducting surveillance. We were planning on investigating further anyway.
You are well placed now that you're...
Warehouse 17 is secure and the goods have been moved out. 18 and 19 are left, though.
18 we've had our eye on. 19 we didn't know about. That's good to know.
I would be very careful, Dalen. You're already, there's already eyes on you. The Duke was not happy with you at all. So I would be very careful. I'm not doubting your abilities. I'm sure that you'll do fine, but if they find you, it may not end well for you, my friend.
The Duke won't work directly. He'll hire someone. Luckily, I've paid off enough bounties over my own name. He'd have to pay quite a bit of money.
That is actually something he also mentioned. Oh no, not the Emerald Enclave per se, but us. He was talking about how people tend to go missing in the desert. And he was insinuating Tempest Guild.
What?
Yes, I think we need to be more careful of him than ever. On this mission that we've been tasked with, we have to be aware of any ambushes or any suspicious activity.
If what I suspect is true as well, and where his true allegiances lie, we need to be even more careful. That attraction would bring them towards the core and the ship, and we need to be very careful. You're right.
Even more reason to discredit him then.
Before we leave, I think I should talk to Susterus real quick and just give her an update on things.
I think that would be wise.
She needs to be aware of all this.
She may be able to use her own network to help us. Yeah.
We'll see then. If someone is to discover the core, and maybe if she could help, make them think that it's somewhere else and not here. That's unusual.
You must be careful with that information, though. I trust Susterus. You obviously know her well, but the core is very important. Dalen risked his entire career on it.
And my life, but it was absolutely worth it. And I would do it again. Well, I will keep an eye on Warehouse 18 and 19, and my rangers will report anything of interest to Susterus and the Harpers. I don't know Sorceress very well, and I can't say I have trusted her in the past, but if you trust her, I think that's enough. I just don't trust anyone whose job it is to lie for a living.
That's fair enough.
But if you vouch for her, and Lyra vouches for you, then that's enough for me.
Will you say hi for me next time you talk to her?
Of course. She was very excited to see you, Shana. Somewhat confused as well. She said that you seem different, and then when I described her to you, her exact words were, well, the snake tail's new.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, she wondered how you were going with, like, stairs.
Difficulty. I'm very glad that I picked up the levitate spell, to be honest.
Yeah. She then said, bit of a run-up, and laughed at her own joke. Yeah.
She would.
Well, it's been lovely meeting each and every one of you. Nice to know that we're not as alone as I feared we were. It is good to see that there are still people out there willing to fight for good and fight for balance.
Indeed.
Well, I hope I see you again, and I hope under better circumstances, until we meet again.
Dalen, before you go, is there a way we can contact you or hear if any updates?
Well, you can hear Lyra's voice. I can hear Lyra's voice. Let's use the voice of the wild, shall we, as our method of communication?
Sounds like a plan. We'll keep each other updated through Lyra. I'm sure she would relish the opportunity to help in that regard.
Indeed, I know she would. Safe travels.
Good luck.
With that, Dalen stalks up the stairs and disappears beyond your sight. At this point, Lockie and Griswold emerge back from below deck, just as four large sheets of metal, hammer and some bolts begin levitating down the stairs as if carried towards Griswold. Griswold looks and goes, excellent, just on time. Thank you, just place these here, please. And you see the levitating pieces of metal, hammer and bolts position themselves on the kitchen table. Griswold goes, no, not here. I'm not going to touch the kitchen. Oh, for fuck's sake. Take it downstairs to the engine room. Picks it up, continues walking away. Goodness me. There's a problem with unseen servants. They're quite brainless. You have to give them very specific instructions.
Yes, I haven't really bothered with that one myself. Prefer to get my hands.
It's a particularly useful spell in certain circumstances. I do recommend it if you get the time to pick it up and practice it. Well, I will be below deck. I'm just going to assemble that lead box, and if you could pass the power supply to me, to the power core to me, Lockie. Then next you'll node, I'll take that below, and I'll just make sure the box fits.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, as you hand it to Griswold, his eyes turn red, shadows erupt from his feet. At last! No, none of that happens. He just takes it.
I for you, my friend. I'm quite a good speaker.
Whatever, sure.
Okay.
Heads back downstairs, begins constructing the box. You hear the sound of banging emerging from below deck. It's mine, I tell you. Mine! After all, why not? Why shouldn't I keep it? No, none of that happens. Griswold has he's absolutely throwaway line, just, I'll just take it downstairs for you. Okay, fine, you can carry it, whatever. I don't care. You do what you want, boy. With that, Leosin begins coming down the stairs, having arrived back at the airship. Hey, okay, right, so we're pretty much anchored and ready to go. We're just waiting on Elia. I think she said she'd meet us here. I got a message from her. She said that she wouldn't be too far away. And a message from Sorceress too. She said she had to speak with you before you left.
Oh, that would be important to do that.
Clothing delivery ready as well? Is anyone?
Oh, yeah. We need to speak to the blacksmith.
Oh, I did pass House. She said she was working on something for you. I think she said she'd give it to Griswold to teleport to you before the trip's done. She's working her hardest, but it takes a little bit longer than sort of 24, 48 hours to throw together. What did she say? 3 cloaks, 2 daggers, and a lot of pain.
Right.
I think she's named your bow, Yervith. Pain.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit fidgety without it. It's as you can imagine, it's a bit weird not having that.
I understand. She said she wouldn't be too much longer.
I don't want to rush her. So she can take all the time she needs. But
no, last time I rushed her, he pulls down his sleeve and you can see these like cat scratches down his arm. Yeah. Rolls his sleeve back up. Yeah. Yeah. Look.
It's okay.
Not my proudest moment, I'll be honest. I was being a bit of a dick that day. I was stressed, and I didn't mean to kick the cat metaphorically, but I paid for it. So. No. Metaphorically. She was there. She had a hammer. She was making a lot of noise. I was trying to have a quiet meeting, and look, not my proudest moment.
In the blacksmith's office.
Above it, in my defense. Look, we've installed soundproofing as a response to this. The problem's fixed, all right? This is middle management stuff. You don't need to know about this. This is what I'm here for. So, is there anything I can send one of the ship hands to fetch? Is there anything you need before we take off? We've fully stocked rations for the trip. We're heading straight to Ciari, to the capital. We're going to be sailing over quite a bit of ocean and quite a bit of desert, and on the second day, you'll get a nice view of the Sapphire Isles as well. The top half of the Shattered Isles.
You have enough arrows, and we have spellcasting components and provisions for the trip.
Arrows would be handy if you have. I'm sure you would have replenished the stock, perhaps.
Health potions.
Yes, and just nods.
Health potions. Yeah.
I'm not there, but a shield until mine comes back from her would be useful as well.
What was it? Sorry,
a shield until mine comes back from the blacksmith would be useful.
In any other situation, I would ask for gratuitous amounts of water rations, but I believe Shana here has that covered, so I will not request water.
Extra is always good, because what if I lose it? What if
that is true? That is true.
Well, actually, Shana, we haven't filled up on water. I was kind of counting on that, but the ship itself has a chamber to store water in.
We can just start emptying this into.
Yeah, could you just turn the decanter upside down over the intake valve and just leave it there for an hour or so? You don't have to hold it. I'll get Grisha to do that. We have a deckhand for that. What about Corvin? Do you trust Corvin? How do you feel about Corvin? I get Corvin to do it.
Reluctantly.
Corvin the Kenku comes down the ladder of the ship and takes it's a black raven folk takes the decanter and looks up at you and goes,
I need it back. It's Lyra's. It's just borrowed. I want it back soon, please.
My precious. As Corvin pats it very protectively with his wings and then gives a bit of a chuckle only joking.
Is it Varus? He picked that up.
Where did he pick that up from?
Yes.
As you say that, it did sound a lot like Varus. Suspiciously like Varus, actually.
What?
Good ear.
Yeah.
Well done. I've chucked in a few characters Corvin's overheard at different points.
Yeah.
And you've picked up one or two of them. It's great. This is fun.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Under this close to going off to the water.
Corvin just drinks it right in front of you. Glug, 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 glug. It's a little salty for my likings.
The brain from Mage Hand.
I think I'm good for everything else.
Corvin, seeing you focusing, scuttles away with the decanter. Leosin looks and goes, "Intake valves that way, Corvin." You hear the sound of claws scrapping on wood, and then suddenly footsteps coming right back as Corvin rushes past, holding the decanter back towards the intake valve. "Thank you, Corvin." Strange fellow, that one. Very strange. Hard worker, though. And he's great for relaying orders to the ship, because people know when I've given an order. I just tell it to Corvin, he runs down to the end of the ship and just says exactly what I just said.
feet away is the intake valve?
What was that, sorry?
How many feet away is the intake valve?
Back of the ship, up on the top deck. Off the side.
30 feet diagonally, you'd say? More? Less?
Well, through solid wood.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah, probably about 30, 35, yeah.
Alright. There is Mage Hand following Corbin after her water. It's not going to be able to do anything, but...
Now you're a follower of Varus, which means your mage hand, rather than the white glove, is a shadowy hand, leaking shadow as it moves along. As you're a follower of Varus.
That thing is Lyra's. She is not leaving it out of her grasp, so to speak.
You see this shadow as Shana's shadow, this hand claws its way out of her shadow, rises up into the air, and then follows Corvin along. Leosin looks and goes, "Well, that's not going to give me nightmares. How about the rest of you?"
I just side-eye Yervith. What did Lyra say?
Yeah, that's concerning.
Mira looks at her shadow.
I look at Mira as well, like...
At this point, Illyrian, I'm guessing, if correct me if I'm wrong, Jin, but at this point, Illyrian sort of gives a bit of a stretch. Goes, "Well, I might have a bit of a lie down for a moment. I'll come talk to you guys later."
Oh, Shana, before we go our separate ways for the time being, there was one thing. Lyra did have something to tell you. She told me to say to you, don't give up. We can fix this. She did specifically say that to me to tell you when I spoke to her before.
Giving up on her. Why would she think that?
That's just what she told me.
I think it was "don't despair," but that's fine too.
Oh, I thought I wrote "don't give up." So,
I might have said "don't give up," but the message was more. Look, it's very possible, and I'm sure someone is going to be like, "Well, actually, last session, I've just listened to the recording, and last session, you said don't give up." The essence. Yeah, that's definitely me talking. Not one of the fans. That's just my voice. Well, definitely the message. You're lovely, mwah, and I appreciate you. It's definitely more. The message was more along the lines of "don't despair." We can still fix this. But but yeah, Matt's 100% right. I think I did actually say "don't give up." But the message is the essence. I've retconned it. Yervith says, "Don't despair." Yeah.
We'll wreck on that.
Yep.
Great. Cool.
It's kind of the light in my life. No way in fuck am I giving up on her.
That's good to hear.
Guessing there's been some developments about Lyra then? Good news, bad news, medium news.
Good news. Well, depends on your perspective. She's alive, kind of. I can talk to her now, apparently. Yeah, existing in some other plane of existence.
Wow.
You see the little plant growing out of the window there?
Oh yeah.
That's Lyra. Don't touch the plant.
That's Lyra. Yeah, that's her way. Well, it's her way of. It's her way of communicating with us. It's like, her sign. I don't really know how it works. But...
I feel like Leosin's from the Feywild. He's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Leosin's face does not imply that.
Oh.
Leosin's face implies like, okay, crazy people, that's Lyra. Great, hi Lyra. Great to see you again.
You remember Lyra? She was a druid. She's all about the plants and everything. That's her way of communicating with us through plants.
That sounds great, Yervith. I'm really happy Lyra's okay. That's excellent.
Just saying.
Leosin sort of comes over to you, Mira, out of the side of his mouth and goes, Is his time in the jungle finally catching up with him?
No.
Well, if there's nothing else, I better head back to top deck and get the ship shape and ready, eh?
Would Shana actually know that he is from the Feywilds?
I'm not sure if you guys would know that.
Oh, well,
Only Mira would know that.
Mira,
Really.
okay. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So then I guess Mira might think of that then.
Yeah. No, she would actually. She'd be like, "Don't worry, Lara's with the Archfey."
Leosin drops the cup that he was holding with water as it hits the floor. He turns and goes, Why'd you preface that with "don't worry"? Now I'm more worried.
What do you mean?
The Archfey are capricious, bordering on unknowable, unfathomable creatures with a lot of benevolence and malevolence, and capable of shifting between the two. Think of chaos as a physical being that its only goal is in entertainment and enjoyment, but with no morality. What entertains them and brings them enjoyment might not be fun for you.
That's concerning information.
I thought that's where you and
Yes.
Azura.
Yes, Azura and I was sent here by the Archfey. I wouldn't say I trust them.
That's should we let Lyra know that? She might not know that.
Yes.
She's in trouble.
I would let Lyra know that you can't trust Archfey. And she needs to make sure she's not accepted any gifts from them, that she doesn't owe them anything. Really important. She can't be in their debt.
This is not what I heard about Archfey.
No, they've got a really good PR team.
Okay.
But think about it this way, Mira. If you control all communication to and from a place, and that place has been inaccessible for a very long time, so only the stories that remain of the people who were allowed to leave, because the Archfey, we're talking about a very long time ago, the Archfey used to tempt in beings from this realm, and they still do from every other realm. The Archfey tempt creatures into the Feywild and keep them there, sometimes for years, sometimes for days. And time passes differently, so what's a few days in the Feywild could be decades. There were people who wandered in. Azura and I are from somewhere else. We're not from the Feywild themselves. We wandered in there, and then somehow were sent here by the Archfey.
Wait. Tell me about your experiences there. What was it like? What was the place like?
It's hard to describe. It's always warm. It's sunny. Cool breeze. Yeah. But then my memory's hazy. I remember being terrified at some points, running through forests. I remember being happy, laughing in a stream. Feywild is a place of madness, I would say. It's a strange place. Distance doesn't make sense. Time doesn't make sense.
Are you scared of forests? Yes. Nope. Is that a place of fear?
No, I love forests. It's different. It's not the same as forests here. The trees are alive. I know they're alive here. The trees have will. Creatures are bigger. Creatures are scarier. Creatures are... I don't know. It's hard to describe. I have actually spoken to a tree here, so I can understand that. But in any case, that's concerning. We need to let Lyra know not to trust in the Archfey too much. If she owes them a debt, she needs to pay it ASAP. Now.
That also puts a spanner in our works for retrieving her. If the Archfey...
What if she's promised to bring them with her? If they've been taking people from here before.
Oh God.
What if they're one of those other elements who don't want to come through with Tiamat?
You haven't asked a question I thought you would ask. What about Azura and I? You haven't asked if we're indebted to Archfey.
I wasn't going to that. I thought that was a bit personal, but
now you brought it up, are you?
Since you brought it up.
Yes, we are. One of the conditions of us preventing the cult was to disrupt the ritual, not bring them here. They just wanted to be able to access this realm, their influence to be able to seep through the barriers once again. Azura and I are here to stop the cult. We're 100% behind that, and we don't want to help the Archfey. We don't trust them. We don't like them. They looked after us and cared for us, but it's hard to describe.
You also don't have a lot of say in the matter.
We owe them a debt.
This is intriguing information.
And if you don't follow through, that is, say you fail, willingly or otherwise, what happens then?
I don't know. We swore an oath. I'm not sure.
Oh God.
But the price was our safety and our lives in the Feywilds. So I would say, potentially, death would be the consequence.
Oh, that's a steep consequence.
Might even be the least of your consequences.
I mean, we got lucky coming through the gateway. We came through...
What gateway?
Yeah, where's the gateway?
Where?
Yeah, this is a long story. Buckle up. The gateway we came through between the worlds, it wasn't a giant gateway. It was a rift created by something else. The Archfey described it as a schism. Some entity, a god or some other powerful being had been killed, died. The energy released from that opened up a crack. You had to be mortal to pass through. Couldn't have divine presence. It was, the schism would react violently to it. So Azura and I were the perfect candidates, and because our souls are split, we're two halves of one soul, that gave us some protection as well. So the Archfey needed us to push us through. And we didn't quite realize how much they needed us until we already got here. We could have bargained for a bit more than what we got, potentially.
But 2020.
Yeah, indeed. So that's how we got here.
Interesting.
We never found out what entity or god it was that died to let us pass through.
It's all very interesting. This certainly complicates matters with Lyra. If she has made dealings with the Archfey, they may be seeing her as a way in to this world. If we bring her back.
The Archfey like chaos. So it might not even be that they want access. It might not be that they want to come through. They told us they wanted access. They wanted to be able to influence things again. They didn't say they wanted to come through. In fact, they seemed quite abhorred when we suggested they'd come through with us. They seemed quite horrified by that suggestion. Apparently this world stinks of iron, is the way they said it.
So this schism, was it a small aperture in time, or was it still possibly open?
I have no idea. We got dumped inside the Unseen University library. The crack opened up there. Apparently, one of the wizards explained it to me. Knowledge is power, and that much knowledge concentrated in one place equals a lot of power concentrated in one place, so therefore crazy things happen, I think is how they described it. The library seems to be a location where things happen.
The library isn't a keystone, though. Or the library's not made out of a gateway or anything of the like.
No. I believe it's just the sheer concentration of magical artifacts and items there. It seems to be a magnet for strange events to happen. I mean, I remember some of the students got chased out of the library once by the books flapping around like bats attacking them when one of them brought a candle in.
That's insanity.
I mean, it makes sense. If a book is anything a book that doesn't like, it would be a candle.
There's no fire in the library. It's just one of the 3 rules.
These books know what's up.
But look, it might still be open. I have no idea. But I can tell you now, we could see it on the Feywild side, but we couldn't see it on this side. It looked like, imagine a rainbow, right? Like the archway of the colours, but not as an archway, more as a spinning prism of shattered glass.
Yervith, can you ask Lyra? I mean, does she owe them any favors, and can she see this thing? Can she? I mean, maybe we don't need the call.
You mean the schism, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could certainly ask her that. see what she says. So she sees energy, and she sees most things, mostly everything in energy. She detected the disturbance at the Dracon, so her vision must be incomprehensible compared to what we perceive things as. She could certainly...
She had no sight in the current planar world.
Yeah, that's right. I could certainly try and ask her, if you'd like.
Please, would you?
Certainly.
And tell her that I won't lose heart.
Okay. Sure. I'll maybe perhaps I'll we've got a bit of time before Elio comes. Perhaps I'll go to my room and communicate with her there.
You can try and reach out now if you want, Yervith. See how strong the connection is if you want.
Sure. Okay. I guess I can try.
Could you roll me a D100, please?
Can Shana help in any way whatsoever?
Sorry. 93. Yervith. The connection comes quickly. A path that you've walked before. You find your mind pushing out against, and you hear that voice calling out your name again. And as you close your eyes and focus, in your mind you open your eyes and you see yourself back in the beautiful woodland. And as you push through the trees, again, sitting in that same clearing, surrounded by flowers growing on all sides, Lyra's sitting there, seemingly with her eyes closed, just basking in the sun. And as you push through the trees, she looks up with a start. Yervith! Hi, wow, I wasn't expecting to talk to you again so soon.
Neither was I. We've just got a few questions. I spoke to Shana. She's relieved that you're...
She's okay?
She's okay. Yeah, she told me not to lose heart. She's trying everything she can to reunite with you, I think.
I know she is. I just want to reassure her that I'm okay and that it's going to be all right. Because it is. It's going to be okay.
As we're talking, I just want to take a bit more of a bit more of a, like, I want to take the space in a little bit more. After talking about like where the Archfey are from, the Feywilds.
Give me a perception investigation check.
Definitely perception.
24, Yervith. So you're taking in the space. Nah, look, 24. I'm gonna give you lots.
Okay.
Buckle up, buddy. So starting with the area around you, you hadn't noticed before, but the trees that are around this area that form this clearing, the trees are huge. The clearing's not that small. The trees originally you thought looked like they were just normal sized trees, but they're actually really far away. This clearing is massive, but every step you take isn't a step. It's almost like every meter you walk is 10 meters suddenly you're moved forwards. Space seems to warp around you as you move. The trees in the distance are probably 100 or so meters away from you. And they look like normal sized trees, which means they're huge.
Yeah, right.
Tangled branches, massive canopies, the leaves, rich colors of summer. But as you sort of turn your head and look around, you can see it slowly bleeds into the autumnal reds and oranges before giving way to winter. As you get around to 9 degrees from where you were looking, it's now switched to winter. The trees have lost their leaves, snow covers the branches, and as you continue to turn, the trees change back again, seasons coming back around as spring, new growth bursting through the branches, and then back into full summer. As you do a full circular rotation, there is a full 12-month seasonal cycle as you go around the clearing. The sun and moon in the sky, you're used to seeing 2 moons. Nostea has 2 moons. There is only 1 moon, and it is huge. It far outstrips the size of the sun. It is massive, it is full, and there are no craters on its surface, no circular craters. Jagged scars cut through the surface, almost like massive trenches. And the moon's light is much more silvery blue, rather than that white light we're used to here. The moon is giving off this very faint blue light.
Wow.
And again, as you spin, the moon's in one direction, and 180 degrees behind you is the full sun high above, burning with warmth. But you can't keep both in sight, and as you move they're moving a bit as well. So the more you turn, you notice the landscape is moving with you, seasons spinning around as time moves rapidly. It's a very disorienting effect.
Yeah.
Lyra. Sorry, you go. No, go.
I was just going to say, sort of with like a bit more of a hushed tone, unsure of like the space now that Yervith is in. He's sort of going to like make himself like as close to Lyra as he can, like, and just speak with a hushed voice. You spoke to me before that you had been in contact with the Archfey. Is that correct?
Yeah, they've been helping me. Yervith, with your perception 24, as you move closer, you notice some things about Lyra that you hadn't noticed previously, now that you're much closer to her. Around her feet, she's sort of kneeling in the flowers around her. Around her, flowers are growing. Very slowly, but very quickly to your eyes, pushing through the dirt around her, plants growing and blooming about her feet. Sort of moving, growing at maybe like every second or so, they're moving about 0.5 centimeter in growth. So it's this very slow, almost like stop motion effect as they're slowly unfolding as flowers open up, almost like a time lapse around her feet. Lyra's ears are a bit more pointed than you remember, and her skin has this slight greenish brown tinge to it. And you can also see that on her wrists and up to her elbows, almost like little bark-like protrusions are growing through her skin. Very small, almost like scales made of bark, little patches.
Okay.
And her eyes as well. Originally that heterochromic color of the green and blue. The green is much more vibrant. The blue is almost an aqua color now.
Okay.
Much more greenish blue.
Much more greenish blue. Okay.
Yeah, the greens are much brighter green, and the blue eye has become a bit more greenish tinged as well. And her long red hair has streaks of much lighter orange growing through it as well. And as you look with your perception 24, it matches the autumnal colors of the trees very closely.
Wow, okay.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Also, not awesome.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Yervith just, again, goes up nice and close and just says, the Archfey, we were speaking to Leosin back on the boat, on the airship. Because he was sent here to Nostea by the Archfey. He told me and everyone that they're not to be trusted.
Oh. Did he say anything else?
He said that they were chaotic in their nature. They were malevolent and benevolent, that it would change and switch at a moment's notice.
Yeah. No, I've seen that, definitely. When I first arrived, they refused to speak to me, refused to see me, called me an abomination, and then within a couple of hours, or was it days? I don't know. Invited me in, showered me with gifts, welcomed me to their halls.
Did you accept these gifts?
Well, not at first, because I can't touch anything.
Oh. But are you indebted to them in any way?
Define indebted.
If they promised you something, if they gave you some sort of a boon or power, perhaps?
Yeah, they did. There was a problem, right? Because I'm not supposed to be here.
Well,
I was losing energy, but I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink. They said that they could channel the energy of the Feywild into me, keep me alive. Well, I guess sort of alive.
I see. That's a pretty powerful thing for them to do. Interesting.
Well, they made it sound like it was nothing, like it was just a small thing that they would offer anyone.
Okay. Interesting. I'll be sure to relay that to the rest of them. I'm sure that'll be interesting news. The other thing I had to say, When we spoke to the Ocean, he mentioned a schism, some sort of point of power. He said that he came to Nostea through a schism caused by the death of a god. Very powerful.
They spoke about this. The Archfey. They mentioned something about this. They were laughing and it sounded like it was really funny, but I didn't think what they were saying was really funny at the time. They were saying that it's a shame they couldn't get another god's corpse to hijack and push me through.
Wait, what?
Well, that's how they said it. They were laughing, and I thought maybe it was a joke, and I didn't understand it, like a cultural thing, right? She fucking would. You know, she fucking would. She'd be polite and she'd go, ha 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 ha. Not ask any follow-up questions.
Yervith is like worried at this revelation. His face looks a bit like, what? That seems a little. Did they mention who this god was or how? I'm sorry, it's just.
I didn't ask any questions. I just laughed and moved on and hoped that it was a joke, but it doesn't sound like it was. Maybe I should have asked more questions. I can
perhaps.
try.
Yeah, only if you feel it necessary. I don't want to put you under any risk or anything like that. I wouldn't ask anything of you if it was endangering
Sounds like
yourself.
I've done a pretty good job of putting myself at risk by myself.
Well, yeah, but
not even holding back. He's just like, yeah, you done goofed, miss.
I just, of course, unwilling. I mean, I don't think many other people would have done differently. It's all a bit confusing,
you hear
isn't
fairy
it?
stories and they sound fine.
It's fun.
Something in Yervith's mind. So Yervith's mind's a little bit not quite right. There's something there that's blocking from his real memories. And at the mention of childhood memories about the Feywild, something clicks with that. And Yervith goes, "Yeah, you're right. I do remember reading stories about the Feywild when I was younger.
Yeah.
There's someone familiar. I think I may have done similar to you here, and interesting. In any case, you can't still see the schism, can you?
What would I be looking for, do you think? I'm assuming this is some big, massive collection of energy, right?
Yeah, massive amount of energy. I mean, enough to cause a rift through, be able to cause planar travel.
So, the way I see things, it's like lights, right? I'm looking at an ocean. I'm looking at a pool of water, a really big pool of water.
Yeah.
And there's lights below the surface, flickering. Some of them brighter than others, some of them darker. And then the surface of the water's moving a little bit, so I can't see them clearly, but I can see the light itself. The only reason I knew that the gemstone was important and sent the Emerald Enclave after it was because I could see the light so brightly. It was shining like a beacon. Compared to that, there's no other lights as bright.
Interesting. So that was definitely the brightest energy that you can see.
I'm just thinking, I've got a better analogy. It's like stars reflected on water. And then that was the moon reflected. Really bright. I couldn't see what it was, but I could see that it was really bright, and I felt that it must be important.
No, that's okay. You've confirmed my thoughts. If you can no longer see something that bright anymore, it must mean that the schism is no longer active, or perhaps it's closed now.
I can see minds too, thought, right? There's it's so hard to describe. It's like little candles of flame burning in the darkness. And that's people's minds, people thinking. And I can get close and sometimes catch little snippets of what they're thinking. For some people. But for some people, there's too much smoke around the flame, and that's Jin and Shana, right? There's too much smoke, I can't get close and hear it. There's this dark smoke around it. And then, with Lockie, it's not even a flame, I don't know what to describe it as. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's really different. And there's other Warforged as well that are similar, not as different as him. And then with Mira, I don't know, it feels cold. I don't like getting close to her flame. It feels really cold.
That's interesting, concerning, and well, thank you for that. It's all, everything that you can tell me is important. It's useful. Thank you for that.
I was trying to find some members of the cult because I thought maybe I could find the dragon masks and that might help.
Oh, well, that would be excellent if you could. How easy would that be, though? How would you know their flame?
One. I think I found one. The dragon masks, they're like, they're lights. They glow, but they have a different feel to them, a different color, almost like a different look. I think anything of hers, anything of Tiamat's, I'm getting better at this. Like the more I focus, I'm learning this stuff. Anything of Tiamat's is a certain color, so I'm trying to find stuff that looks like Mira's necklace.
Ah, of course, because you can see Mira's necklace, right?
Yeah, there's something. There's a mask in Ciari. Where you're headed?
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what color it is?
No, I can't see what color, but there's definitely a mask there. Definitely.
Do you see any other flames in Ciari? Anything else?
Yeah, anyone thinking, anyone conscious and thinking is there. So lots of flames. And the dragons, the really big ones, it's like a bonfire. They're huge.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Well, that's amazing information. I'm sure the rest of them will know. Will relish this. If there's a mask to be found in Ciari, then that's two birds with one stone. We can find a mask and help the people of Ciari as well.
I've only caught little bits of thought in Ciari from the Dragonborn and the dragons there, but it sounds dangerous. It sounds... There's a lot of divisions there. Be careful. Feels like there's a lot of anger, a lot of strong emotion.
We will be. We know. We know that the divisions there are strong. Elia, the Dragonborn, that's helping us. She's an ambassador for Ciari, for the city there. She's told us that herself, and that's why we are hoping to, well, fix things there to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you for the warning. I spoke to Dalen. He's setting off on his own for a bit. He'll be helping us out as well. I told him that perhaps we could communicate with each other through you, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I can pass on any messages. Yeah, that's fine.
That'd be great. I think that would be really useful. I look forward to this.
I meant to ask about Shana. Her glow's a lot stronger as of I was going to say 2 weeks, but maybe 2 days for you? I'm not sure. Recently, something changed about her. It feels like there's a lot of power there.
Yeah, she came into possession of some power. It's a little hard to explain. We took a bit of a side detour when we went to Oxenfurt. We found some beans.
You had a bean?
Yes. Yeah. Do you know about these beans?
I can see them. All of them. They're really bright.
Oh.
Well, some of them are. Some of them are a bit more dim. But the beans, the Archfey talked about the beans. They said it's one of their best pranks yet.
Oh, well, I mean, they seem pretty good. I had one. Everyone had one. We've all gained an ability, a latent ability that we wouldn't have otherwise had. Shana had one, actually. She has some real strong energy behind her now. She believes, we spoke to Griswold about this, we believe that she has the ability to cast a wish spell.
She's got some power in her corner now. I was going to Aladdin. Wow. Okay. Great. Okay. That's going to help getting me back. That's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we're already trying to figure out exactly how that's going to work. It's difficult. We already have some working ideas. We spoke to Griswold. We need to find a waygate for one to use the core for. It will be difficult to get you back. Griswold said that there's probably going to be some side effects. The way that we word the spell, we can bring you back as we know you, but we didn't, like, the time before then, we didn't know you, so we don't want to risk causing any sort of...
That's okay. I think bring me back as I am now. Like, there have been some changes since I've been here. She sort of looks at her, the sort of little bits of bark growing on her elbows, and then looks down at the flowers growing at her feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not, like, it's not too much of a problem. Like, wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, magic is...
Insight check.
You're not there. You can insight check that. Of course you can.
Oh, well.
I meant insight check on Yervith, but yeah.
Oh. There are a lot of strong feelings going on, Mr. Sparrow. Insight 15. Yervith, you get the sense that she is... you get the sense that she's just trying to give an option which reduces the amount of chance of failure. She's just trying to help.
Yeah. That comes through pretty clearly, I think. I just sort of say, look, I appreciate you trying to make things easier, but I'm sure Shana would want you to come out as perfectly and as good as possible. So we will do our best. We will come up with some ideas. There's still a long way before we can find an active waygate for it to even work. Griswold believes that if we use the wish spell to create a body for you, we can bring you back, and so you possess the body, and then you can exist again.
Will I be like a ghost?
Well, the working theory is that you're kind of like a soul at the moment, right? Like your energy, and you can see energy, and that's the idea. We bring you back into a body, and then your soul, body. I guess that's how it works.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, if anything changes, like, I'll let you know.
Make like a whole new body for me. That'd be great. That means Shana and I can have a body each.
Yeah, I guess so. That's right. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be much easier. That'd be much better. I mean, I will miss having her in my head, but it's nice that she'll be able to do stuff now.
Yeah.
Even if she is a snake now?
Yeah. That is an interesting development.
Are we worried about that she's a Yuan-Ti? Has that been a problem? Are we worried about that?
I guess, sort of.
How are you doing with that, Yervith?
Look, it was a bit of a process. It was definitely some feelings. Yeah, look, I understand. I understand, like, the way it all came about. I don't hold it personally. It just sort of happened. So it's, it's whatever. I'm getting over it. It's fine.
Okay. She's not going to insight check that. She knows you're lying.
I'm only reminded of that horrible day every day.
Amazing.
That's so silly.
But it's okay. I'm dealing with it. It's fine.
Truly, my life is a waking nightmare. When I sleep, I see the event before my eyes, and when I wake, I look at the person responsible. Every day.
Anyway, I just thought you ought to be careful of the Archfey. And I think I probably should go back and tell them everything that you've told me.
Yeah, no worries at all. Yeah.
Did you have anything else you wanted to pass on?
I think that's everything. That's all I know. I'll try and contact you. I was about to say in your dreams, but that's a bit creepy. But if I've got anything I need to tell you, I'll wait till you're asleep and whisper it in your ear. Then you can be just like Shana and Jin. No, she doesn't say that. No,
I meditate anyway, so
okay.
If you want to,
I'll try and tell you. Yeah, I'll try and if there's anything important, I'll try and talk to you then.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. If I know that there's something creeping into my conscience, I'll just remember you and not get too weirded out by that.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Great. Well, I'll be seeing you.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, Yervith.
Thanks, Lyra.
Thank you. Yeah. For you. For you guys, no time has passed. Yervith has closed his eyes, sat down, and then opens his eyes. Literally no time has passed from your perspective.
Wait, weren't you able to contact her? That was... It didn't seem to go through. You're back already.
I was gone for a little while. I spoke to Lyra for at least 10 minutes. How long was it here?
No time whatsoever. You literally just sat down and closed your eyes.
Oh, that's unusual. That does line up with what Griswold was saying and Leosa about time there, though. I got a bit more of a look of where she is. I can't even really describe it. It's
Can you paint it? Draw it? Sing it?
Sure. I was in a clearing, which ended up being not that big, in a big forest with 12 months worth of seasons just all around me. Winter, autumn, summer, spring.
Happening simultaneously or at the same time?
All at the same time. Around me, like perpetually happening. Big moon, slightly blue, different to ours, no craters, big scratch through it. That was always in the sky. Sun behind me, always in the sky.
How many?
One.
Of each?
And one moon, yeah. Not two like we have here.
That's weird.
Yeah. Big trees. Very, very big trees.
He's not wrong.
Lyra was also different. Not how I remembered her. I thought she looked the same the first time. You must understand a lot going on. Crazy place.
I'll say, what does she look like?
She had pointier ears, a little bit greener color. She had bark-like protrusions coming out of her arms. Bit unusual. Her eyes, quite green, quite blue, very bright, intense even. And she had flowers growing at her feet.
That's pretty standard. She was always druidic in nature.
Yeah, it seems like whatever that is been amplified. She seems to be quite, Druidic.
And I guess the eye color change would make sense. I mean, the blue was me. So, I mean, I guess if it's going more green, that would make sense. As I'm not there. What else do you remember?
That checks out. A couple
Can you paint it for me?
Could it also be a mark of the place she's in as well?
It could be, potentially. No, I'm not quite up to date with the Feywild, but it could be. I do know that locations of power can affect you and change you, but I don't know much more than that.
Also, she said she was being, fed by the plane of the Feywild? Sustained the Feywild?
Yeah, I told her about the Archfey and told her not to trust them. She told me that she couldn't actually physically interact with anything there because of her. I mean, she's a soul, really. Let's put it that way. The Archfey basically are channeling the power of the Feywild into her to keep her alive, which may explain the changes. Actually, I didn't quite put the two together. But yeah, so she definitely owes them something. They're basically powering her and keeping her alive. She didn't really have a say in the matter, and I don't blame her. I'd probably do the same thing in her situation if I was not quite alive or not quite dead, and that was the only way to really be anything.
Did they make a demand?
Not that I'm aware of. They tried to give. They tried to shower. They showered her with gifts. She said that she tried to refuse them. But I guess.
I mean, if we can get her away before any demands are made, I mean, sure, she'll have the favor, but if they haven't specified what that favor is, the favor could be, here is a gift of a mote of dust.
Yeah. Well,
possibly, but does that not mean does it not mean that they could specify a price in the future?
It's true.
Does it work that way?
It could make sense. Send someone back to the blank check and then get them to cash it in.
Leosin, who's there with you, nods furiously. Yeah, blank check's their favourite. It's always a favour in the future, a simple favour, a small thing that they'll need, and then it might not be for days, it might not be for weeks, it might not be for years until they call to collect.
Can someone else claim that the gift, the favour that they're owed back? I mean, I'll take it off her hands. I will owe them the favour.
Yeah, let's know that they're fine with that. Sometimes. Depends on the person. If, for example, the king owed them a favour. Or...
I mean...
There were some other pieces of information. She believes that she's... the way she sees things, she explained it to me a little bit more in detail. She can see minds and thinking and thought. To her, they appear like flames, flickering. She said that she's trying to train her abilities, trying to figure it out. She believes that she can, using this method, she believes that she can locate the dragon masks.
Yeah,
And she believes there's one in Ciari, where we're headed.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Convenient, is it not?
Indeed.
Or it indicates that the cult really do have influence in Ciari more than we thought.
Yeah, I was going to say that it makes sense, right? Like, we're there to try and prevent the cult spreading influence. Who's more influential in the cult than one of the bearers of the dragon masks? I mean,
Exactly.
I've heard rumors that those who wear the masks can command dragons.
Well, she did say that the thoughts of the minds of the people in the Dragonborn and Ciari were confused and dark. There were many divisions, I guess, which lines up with what Elliot was telling us. But she said it was very dangerous where we're heading, that we should be careful, which goes without saying. But yes, danger awaits us in Ciari, by the sounds of things.
Mm-hmm.
When does it not, though, right? To be fair.
That's true. In any case, she's excited to come back, and she said whatever method we decide on with returning her to this realm, she's happy to do it. I mean, I just think she's wanting to take the path of that's easiest for us, but I mean, I want to make sure that she comes back as well as she can. I don't want to do the easiest option just because it's the easiest option, if you get what I mean.
I mean, she is more than welcome to my body. If it comes to it and her safety is... Oh, not like that.
Sorry.
If her safety is, at question with the Archfey, I mean... The inhabiting would be the clear choice.
Possibly. But in any case, that's mostly what we spoke of. It seems like I can speak to her relatively easily, at least at this point. But yeah, that's all I know. Oh, also, I'm sorry, Lockie, you reminded me. The schism, the source of this energy, she doesn't see it anymore. She said usually this energy appears to her as a brightness. That's how she found the core. It appeared to her as the brightest thing that she could see. I tried to tell her, I tried to explain that she could see this because I imagined it would be powerful, it would be bright. But she said she couldn't see it. So perhaps the schism is no longer, maybe it's closed up.
That makes sense.
Yeah, she mentioned about the gods though. The Archfey seems happy about the corpse of this god being used. It was confusing. I asked her if she knew who this god was that they used, but she couldn't tell me. She said she'd asked the Archfey, but I told her not to risk it, just in case. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting revelation, though.
It also sounds very much like a one-off, so that actually leaves me in a slightly more pleasant disposition, because it means that there's not another hold of which could be exploited by the cult.
It's a good point.
Or anyone else.
Or anybody else, yes.
Now we have these Archfey to deal with.
Yes, well, that's going to be an interesting thing. But yes. Was there anything else you mentioned? Any other possibilities of contact, maybe from our side, with the Archfey?
No, she didn't mention anything like that.
No.
I'm certainly sure. I told her if there's anything else that comes up, I'd speak to her about it.
I'm metagaming here, but please.
Oh, yes. She did say that the beans, she could see the beans quite brightly as well. I did mention that. She mentioned that she could see the power in Shana as well.
Will I allow this bullshit metagaming? I will.
Thank you.
Thanks. I forgot about that. Yes, she did mention that. The beans being quite bright and visible. She detected the power in Shana. I explained to her the how that all came about and that she has this power in her that we believe that we can use it to bring her back.
Alrighty. Well, I think what we'll do there then is we'll have a little bit of a time skip so Susurrus comes to the ship. Anything you wanted to brief her on, you can do so. We don't need to roleplay that. You've already done the full debrief with Susurrus from before. So, Jin, anything you wanted to brief Susurrus on, or anything in particular you wanted to tell her, as it was before, is there anything new or extra I don't know about that you might want to tell Susurrus to look into or be involved with? I'm assuming you just share with her. Emerald Enclave are on our side. We're working with them. They're looking into Duke Neverember. Yes, Ali.
In the city.
What was that, sorry?
Dragon Mask in the city.
Dragon Mask in the city, yep.
And spread misinformation about artifact that cult might be looking for.
Okay. So do you tell her that you have this artifact? No. Okay. Cool.
And probably just the Duke's threat about getting rid of us in the desert as well.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, she takes that on board, and goes, well, you're going to play the game like this, you're going to get involved with all sorts of nasty people, and sometimes they're going to threaten you. But it's politics. It's all words. Except when it's not, then you got to look out. But I'm sure this one's just words. But it might not be, though. So probably watch your backs, eh? Particularly helpful. Awesome. Elia arrives at the ship, and with that, an air of decency departs Oxenfurt. Rising high above the city towards the late afternoon, the ship crests the top of the tallest towers and continues upwards until it reaches the lower cloud layer before Leosin engages the thrusters. The ship begins moving forwards. On the deck of the ship, Elia stands at the prow, the wind flowing through her hair, just sort of standing, letting the wind pass by her as she enjoys the view. For those of you who are on the deck with her, you see the city and the coastline drop below you, and the rolling hills and forests of the surrounds of Oxenfurt give way to deep forests, open plains, large lakes. Orathator is not with you. You didn't say you were bringing Orathator, and he's going to be staying behind at the embassy to keep an eye on Varen as well. That's the plan. So good question. The core is still with you. It is its lead box. Before too long, for those of you who stay up a little bit late, towards midnight, the airship passes over Palin. Moving very, very quickly. It seems that Griswold and Lockie together have made a few adjustments on the engines, allowing them to move a little bit faster and to maintain that atmosphere around the ship at higher altitudes, which means that you can move a bit faster. Obviously, less air resistance the higher up you go, means you can move a bit quicker.
Awesome.
What was that? Yeah, exactly. Also, the fact that you're traveling distances over a sphere. Exactly. Although, is Nostea a sphere? It is a sphere, yeah. It is a sphere.
Could be this world, could be on a turtle.
That was proven. That was proven very long ago by the giants. There are a group of humans who do believe that Nostea is flat, but they are all round laughed at, ridiculed, and generally abused for their stupidity.
They're all flatters.
Yeah, it's been proven for thousands of years that that Nostea is a sphere. Whoops.
Whoops.
I couldn't resist, sorry. The airship passes through. As dawn of the second day arrives and you step out onto the deck, you can see that a lot of the storm clouds that have been gathering over the eastern coast of Oshia The last time you were passing through this area, which slowed you down considerably, and now far below you, during the night, Leosin has brought the airship up even higher, above the range of the storm clouds. And what's even more astounding is above you, you can now see stars glittering. Even as the sunlight comes in, stars just begin to fade away. As the moons drop below the horizon, their light sort of fading as the dawn breaks. You get the sense you are very, very high up. The airship continues on. On the third day, a package arrives from the guild hall. Your dragon cloaks, bows, and weapons. Yervith, your bow. Yervith, your bow has now been fitted out with dragon scales. Now, which color scales did you select for your bow? I've got it written down here somewhere.
Oh, goodness. I think it was probably blue, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the blue dragon scales written down for your bow, which means that your bow now does an additional 1d4 lightning damage. Just for fun. So every time an arrow hits, the arrows crack with energy. It does an additional 1d4 lightning damage. What are you laughing at? What did I miss? Are you trying to get Lucy out for a wee? The stream can't see that. Alice is trying to get Lucy out. Only you guys can see that, not the stream. It's so funny. Because they can't see you. Only these guys can. That's so funny. My big labradoodle Lucy needs to go out for a wee, but she takes a while to get up sometimes and needs some encouragement.
Aww.
So Alice went to go help. So was Alice like crawling into frame with sheet. That's hilarious.
That was hilarious.
So I completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, so yeah, your bow now does an additional 1d4 lightning damage.
Awesome.
There was a blue cloak and 2 black cloaks as well. And they give you resistance to lightning damage for the blue cloak and acid damage for the black cloak. So whoever wants to divvy them up is welcome to them. Chat saying you missed out. You didn't miss out. Just my partner crawling on the floor trying to get my dog up. Who needs to go wee?
Unexpected.
What was that? Sorry, Ellie?
It was just very unexpected.
Yeah, she fully commits as well. She would have been like full on like army crawling. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Amazing. So that's on the door. On the third day, those are delivered to you. And on that day, Griswold then heads back to Oxenfurt using the teleportation ring. The journey continues on. Below you can see the Shattered Isles, this coastline that looks like it was once a continent, but has been shattered into hundreds of small islands scattered around. You can see a couple of larger ones, beautiful white stone, almost like a marble island, which you know to be the Sapphire Isles. For those of you who want to get a really clear picture, imagine Santorini in our world, the white volcanic ash covered Greek island of Santorini. So the Sapphire Isles, imagine Santorini and the Greek Isles basically. And this is the home of the Satyrs, the Leonin. A lot of those sort of folk come from these isles. And continue on. By the 4th day, you're just out over open ocean. No land anywhere near. For the next 2 days, the journey is pretty monotonous. You can spend that downtime doing whatever you wish, and we'll actually, next session, we'll go over what you did during your 6 days of downtime for the journey that takes you. But we'll do a little time skip ahead just to the arrival so I can describe Ciari. Your first sight of the draconic capital is a startling one. As the sun rises over the east, the whole land in front of you glows orange and red. Mountainous ranges, vast deserts, and small pockets of oases dot the landscape of this massive continent. Not as big as Oshia, but vast in its own right. Beautiful. Mira, this is a sight you haven't seen for many years. The last time you saw your homeland, it's probably even a decade ago.
Mm.
It is no less beautiful now than it was then. And as the airship begins lowering down, the temperature begins rising. Lightly at first, before approaching uncomfortably warm, shall we say, about 28, 29 degrees Celsius. Leosin, sort of who's fiddling with the climate controls, calls out and says, sorry, I'm having some trouble with the temperature. I think something wrong with the regulator. Lockie, could you go have a look?
Yes, of course.
Lockie, you and oh my god, I forgot the name of your Leosin. Leosin, your Leonin. What was that? Sorry, Arvel. Thank you. Arvel heads down with you, and you have a bit of a look, and sure enough, you can see that your prolonged time in the upper altitude has stressed out a number of the components to keep that oxygen, keep that temperature. And the temperature has now failed. You are now feeling the full temperature as you approach the continent.
Is it going hot or going cold?
Hot.
It's going very hot. Okay.
It's getting warmer.
No, like the apparatus for the...
Oh, the apparatus is getting cold.
It's getting cold, right? I don't need to warm it up.
Yeah, as it is... it was originally extruding heat. It is now... To keep you warm while you're in the upper atmosphere. Now that you have come back down again, it is now overworked itself, and it is now pulling in the heat around it, creating this cold pocket right around it. And you guys arrive for Mira back for you guys the very first time, the draconic nation of Ciari. And we will explore Ciari in our next session. But for tonight, that is all we are doing. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We'll go through what you guys did in your downtime at the beginning of the next session. Just have an idea, because I'm putting you on the spot here, you haven't had a bit of a chance to think, but have a think what you'd like to do for those 6 days, what you might be focused on. Just pick sort of 1 to 2 main activities that you'll devote your time to, and we'll open next session with those, and what you guys got up to during those 6 days. And then we will jump straight back into the adventure and explore a new world for all of you.
Wow.
Cool.
Well, for most of you.
Amazing.
Oh, I've already got an idea.
Fantastic. But that's what I like to hear. All right, well, that's all from us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you all again tomorrow night for our Avatar Legends stream. If you've enjoyed this and you're watching on YouTube, chuck us a like. Share a comment. Tell us about a D&D story. If you're listening to this on a podcast that allows you to rate the podcast, give us a rating. If you've enjoyed it, give us a rating. And if it lets you comment as well. Otherwise, that's all from us. Oh, I did mean to say at the beginning, I've just created a TikTok account. I'm going to try and put some little highlights of the streams and things up on that TikTok account. It's just the Lost Archives. Nice and easy to find. I've already chucked a couple of little clips from various gaming streams I've done, which are mostly at this point just glitches that have happened that have been quite amusing. So they're up there as well if you want to watch that. I'm going to put some of the Phasmophobia streams I did with Claire and Michael because they're hilarious.
Oh gosh.
Oh, they're funny. And also the D&D and Avatar Legends streams. I'll do some highlights from those as well. But
Amazing.
For the moment, that's it from us. Stay safe, stay well. We will see you all again later. Until next time, farewell, guys. See you later. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night.
Mwah.
Thank you.